Hi, welcome to QuestAL TV. Today I'm going to show you how I built my version of the G-9 rigger freighter Twilight from the Clone Wars. This was suggested by a viewer on my YouTube channel, so thank you for that. I'm going to show you some options for the build, including cowling, cargo, and look at the ship's foldable fin. Our main concern is how that affects the ship build in Starfield. So let's look at the ship parts. Here's the ship parts that you'll need for the ship, and you can pause on this screen if you need to assemble these ship parts or get ready for the build. You'll need a outpost ship builder, B level 60, have piloting skill 3. It is a B class ship. Starship design 4 is needed, but you'll have options for some of the pieces that may require Starship design 4 if you don't have those skills. And then afterward, you'll need to visit New Homestead to replace your 2 AccuLander 11 landing gear with 1 NG-20 landing gear for the look of the ship. So let's get to it. Okay, we're going to start with the NG-6 landing bay from Nova Galactic. Alright, and then on top of that, you're going to place in the aft half of the NG-6 landing bay, you will place the forward half of the Deimos workshop 2x1. And then on the front of that habitation, you're going to place a Nova weapon mount. Underneath the aft portion of the Deimos workshop goes the 2 AccuLander 11 landing gear, but I've already gone to New Homestead, so I have the NG-20 landing gear that we'll get from Nova Galactic. Alright. Then after that, you're going to place 4 Deimos storerooms on top of each other. And we're going to place that up on top of the aft portion of the Deimos workshop. Now, if you have just a single one of these storerooms, I'll show you, you can just hit Control G. And then hit your left mouse button. And if I can do it right, Control G on that piece and then place it, and then Control G on that piece and place it. Okay? And then after the Deimos storeroom, you're going to use 2 Deimos hulls. Deimos hull A. One goes out to the starboard connector of this top Deimos storeroom, and one goes behind it in the aft portion. Okay, then we're going to have to take this and move this away so we can attach the next pieces, and that is going to be the Stroud engine bracer A. Attaches to the starboard side of the Deimos hull A. And I'm going to delete these 2 other pieces, but you'll need 3 of these, and you can just hit Control G on that piece and pull them out like that. And then place the Nova wing in the starboard position on the outside of that, creating the starboard fin for this thing. Alright. Then we're going to take the Aurora 12G grav drive and place that between the 2 Deimos hull A's in the aft portion of this one and on the starboard side of this Deimos hull A. Then we're going to take the Dun 71 engine. We're going to have 2 of these, so we're going to place the first one out here. And then I'm going to delete this one over here. We're going to use that same Control G. And then if you want to place it above it, you can hit R one time, and that will raise the level of that piece and bring it up so you can place it on top of the other Dun 71 engine. In front of that, we're going to place the Tayo braking engine, just for cowling on the outside. That is in the port configuration from Tayo Astroneering. Okay, Then we're going to have 4 Tayo midcaps in the starboard and port positions here, and this is the bottom version of this. Okay, and the first one goes in front of this Deimos hull A. The next one goes in front of that, and then the port ones go next to those. And then on my parts list, I said Tayo braking engine, but it's actually 2 of the Deimos braking engines go on the front of those. So sorry about that. Make that little modification. Okay, for the next level, we're going to start with the 103DS mag inertial reactor from Dogstar. That provides 31 generated power, and that's all this ship will need in its current configuration. If you want to use the 104DS, you can. Because the 104DS provides 39 power. Then you would have to either power up your grav drive some more, or maybe add more weapons to the ship. You can certainly do that if you want. Okay, after the inertial reactor, we're going to place the 500T helium tank on the port side of that inertial reactor. Okay, and then we're going to place Deimos captain's quarters. For any of these habs, you can use whichever ones you want, and you can just cycle through those with the arrow keys, choosing a different one if you'd like. Then we're going to place the Caravel V104 cargo hold on the port side of the aft portion of the Deimos captain's quarters. And we're going to place the Magellan C1X cockpit in front of that. Then this was basically just for cowling. It is a structural piece, but I'm placing a Nova bracer here just to sort of fill this portion of the ship. This is not a structural required piece. I'm going to place a Deimos hull A in front of that. And on front of the Deimos hull, we're going to place the HopeTech nose A in the port configuration. And then place the Tayo side cap between the Magellan C1X cockpit, and it's going to connect to the starboard side of the Deimos hull A. Okay? And then on the next level of the ship, we're going to add the Deimos control station, adding 4 crew stations, and that goes right there. That's going to go on top of the 103DS mag inertial reactor. So the aft portion of that is going to go on top of the reactor, and the forward is going to go on top of the aft portion of the Deimos captain's quarters. Then we're going to place a Deimos all-in-one berth next to that habitation. On the front of those 2 habs, we're going to place the Stroud Cap A, starboard foretop, and Stroud Cap A, port foretop, just for cowling. Okay, and at this point you can click on your Magellan C1X cockpit, control click the Tayo side cap, the Deimos hull A, and the HopeTech nose A, port side. And then once those are all highlighted, then you can hit J, and you can color all of those black. And I'm just trying to create the look that maybe that is one unified cockpit there instead of just the cockpit that's on the side, because that's sort of how the Twilight looks there. All of these bottom pieces here, I colored a sandy color. You can color them any color you want. I've seen some configurations of the G-9 where it was more blue and gray. You know, that's certainly up to you. But the first time you decide on your color that you want here. Let's use color 1 so it's more obvious. Maybe we want this sandy color right here, and if you just choose a single one of those colors and then hit accept, then when you go back into color these pieces, that color you just used will be added to your palette. So then you might be able to more easily color all of these pieces, any one of these sandy colors that you wanted. Okay, great. Now off to the side, just for cowling and maybe for additional weapon placements here, we're placing the Deimos Spine C from Deimos, and that goes on top of the forward position of the Dun 71 engine. On top of the ship, we're going to place an equipment plate in the forward top of the Deimos control station. In the aft portion, we're going to place the Connect Pro docker, so you have a docker on the ship. And in the forward portion of the all-in-one berth, we're going to place the Vanguard Bulwark shield generator. That generates 1450 shield max health at a max power of 12. Alright. And then for weapons that I put on the ship, I used the PBO 100 auto neutron turret that goes on top of the equipment plate right here. And on the Nova weapon mount, I used the PBO 175 auto Helion beam from Ballistic Solutions, dealing 19 hull damage and 19 shield damage at a fire rate of 6. But I put 2 of those down here. Alright. And then just so it would have a third weapon system, I placed the Mauler 107i autocannon on the end of this fin. That deals 25 hull damage and 8 shield damage at a fire rate of 5. Alright. And I like the look of the ship as it is. We are going to get a mission and go out into space and destroy some pirates here in a minute. We're going to go to our flight check. And I've placed something incorrectly, it looks like. I did. This entire configuration here is incorrect, so we're going to control click these pieces and pull this out. And then we're going to take the Deimos storerooms and all these things that are attached to it and pull those over one. So they're attached to the habitation. That's important. And then we can double click on this and add it. There we go. Thought it looked weird. But now we have a nominal check. You'll need to go and hit flight check and then go into your weapon systems. I've assigned the auto Helion beam to the left click. The Mauler 107i autocannon to right click in case I need a little bit more damage. And the PBO 100 auto neutron turret is automatic, so we'll just assign that to what would be G on the PC, but we won't have to control it in that manner. And we'll accept this build of the ship. And there she is. And now the limitations in Starfield are that you have to have a landing bay, right? And that has to be connected by habitations all the way to your cockpit. So that's why I chose to make it this way. But I kind of like the way that the fin is down when we're flying. So let's do that. Let's take off in space, and we'll go to maybe the Cheyenne system and get a mission from Aquila City. But the NG-20 landing gear creates a cool liftoff look for the ship, I think. And then after it's in flight, you'll have just the Dun 71 engines on the one side lighting up. So that's pretty good. The ship has a maneuverability of 100.
back where we belong.
in its current configuration, so that's really good. When you get up into space after you've just created your ship, make sure you adjust your distribution. The current distribution, nice.
Alright, let's see what you've got.
Okay, well, I've almost destroyed him, and then see, this is the auto turret doing its work.
They're dead in space.
The auto turret basically destroyed that ship. A couple of Crimson Fleet. So it looks like we got lucky and we won't have to go find a mission in order to do that. But if we look at the ship's statistics, the Twilight can carry 1,156 cargo if you have Sam Coe on board. He's going to increase your cargo because he has payloads as a skill. The shield is also increased because I have Vasco on the ship as crew. But there is a total crew of 5 that's available on this ship, so that's really good. Reactor providing 31 energy, more than enough to distribute to our systems, and still leave 1 for the grav drive. Jump range of 30 light years, and we have 210 fuel. That should be more than enough to get just about anywhere you need to go, as long as you've been to the systems in between. And deals a fair amount of weapon damage. You can left click and right click at the same time if you'd like to fire your ballistic weapon and your lasers at the same time. But you saw how much work the auto turret did. Does a lot of work. And this is a B-class ship. I really like it. I'm going to land back at the shipbuilder on Shoza so I can show you a couple more configurations for the build of the ship. Because maybe you're not 100% on the build the way that it is. So we're going to land at our outpost and get up to our shipbuilder, and I'll show you a couple other ways you could build the ship for realism, I suppose. We do have the limitations that you have in Starfield, the way that you have to build the ship as far as the connection to the landing bay and that sort of thing, but you do have a couple options for cowling and cargo if you'd like to build it in a different way. And the first thing is, let's take this down. We're going to click on the Deimos storerooms. We're going to click on just 3 of these Deimos storerooms and the Deimos workshop and take those out completely. So we're going to hit delete. Okay, then we're going to move our NG6 landing bay away from the ship. Then we're going to double click on this portion of the ship. And then we're going to hit F to bring it down until we can place it on top of the NG6 landing bay, and then that is going to need to connect. The aft portion of the NG6 landing bay will need to connect to the Deimos storeroom so that you can get up to your cockpit. Okay, and then place the NG20 landing gear behind the NG6 landing bay. If you want to build your ship in this configuration, then you have plenty of space under here to use instead from your shipbuilder. Yeah, the gear for the Acculander 11 landing gear, which you can use in any of the configurations. Okay, and you'll see if I destroy this NG20 landing gear, and we go to our check, it'll say it has too few landing gear, but just another one of these, Control G, and we're going to place this in this configuration underneath the ship. Now it doesn't have that problem. It has enough landing gear now because each of the AccuLander 11 landing gear provides 2 lander thrust. Okay. Now if we're going to add our weapon systems back and make it look like the fin is folded up, then we're going to take one of these tile midcaps and copy it, and we're going to bring it out and we're going to hold on to it with our mouse and then hit Z until we have this configuration of it. Hit F to go down 1 level and place it underneath this other one as if the fin is folded up, and we will Control G one of these Stroud engine bracers. We'll place another one there and then copy the Deimos hull, place that down here, and then place our Nova weapon mount on the front of that. And this would be as if the fin were folded up. If you want to fly the ship like this, you certainly can. Either with both of the AccuLander 11 landing gear, then you don't have to make a trip to New Homestead, and you know, that's up to you. But we have a nominal build with the same weapons and cargo and everything. Your option for the cargo and the cowling, certainly you could add additional cowling to the ship if you feel like the underneath of the forward portion here is not cowled enough. But in that case, with the current engine power and landing gear that we have, you would need to modify your cargo hold. Okay, so let's take this cargo hold off of here completely, and that gives us now a mass of 677, so we could add additional cowling to the ship, and you can add whatever cowling you like underneath if you think that you know, it should look different. And let's take these Stroud Cap A's just as an example, and we'll take this Stroud Cap A and hit Z until we get the underneath. That's the port 4 bottom version, and then hit F to go down and place that underneath the Deimos braking engine and the Tayo midcap that's in the forward portion there. Then we're going to hit G on that, Control G on that again, and then hit Z until we have the starboard side of that. And then we'll get the sand color added to our palette by clicking on this Deimos braking engine and hitting J, and then just modifying this sand color even slightly and hit accept. And then when we click on these two, move our mouse off of them and hit J, that sand color will be available to us, and we can go 1, 2, 3 color in that sand color, and then have a different sort of cowling for the ship. That's up to you. Now that we have a mass of 689, you could add additional cowling underneath here for the ship, or you could just add your cargo back on. With the landing gear that we have, you'll only have 800 mass available to you, but you can put a cargo right here. We'll go to the cargo, and you'll see as long as whatever we add doesn't add up over 800, so we have 111 available to us. So we can't use the Caravel V104, but we could use the V103, giving the ship 615 total cargo. Then put this habitation back on and have a nominal build with this configuration. Okay, so that's up to you. I'm going to hit tab and cancel the modification for me. I like the ship looking like this. But if we go to the ship builder, you can see I have exactly 800 mass. If you were to modify the mass of the ship in some way, reduce the cargo up here, you could also add the cowling that we had before just a minute ago, and then have additional cowling underneath the ship. Make the ship your own and just kind of use what I built. What you like from it, keep it, and what you don't like, you know, change it up. This is a freighter, so I thought it needed some cargo. We don't have the landing gear or the engines to really haul a bunch more cargo than this, but 770 cargo would let you carry some guns back from an expedition or, you know, something like that. And if you want to color the entire ship a different color, you could color any portion of it that you wanted just by control clicking those pieces, and then, you know, do something different. Whatever's good for you. Because of the way the shading works in Starfield, I colored these bottom portions here a little bit lighter gray than the top portions of the ship. But you can do whatever, you know, makes you happy. Well, I hope you enjoyed this ship build of Anakin's Twilight from the Clone Wars. And, you know, if you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel and, you know, tell me what you think. I'm going to put up the scheduled end screen here in a minute, and you can check out my other social media. Let me know what other games you're playing, what games you want to see me play, and cool things that have happened to you in the game. Any kind of silliness you want to send over to me, that would be great. I really appreciate all of you, and you know, come see me on the live stream. We're playing Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, of course. We're playing Valheim and Ark Survival Ascended, and even Minecraft. So come see me play. And thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time on Quest AL TV.